In 2025, something unprecedented is happening across North America and parts of Europe. Something so shocking and so massive that industry insiders are calling it the biggest collapse in recreational vehicle history, as millions of new RVs, campers, motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels, many barely touched, some with under 500 miles, are now being dumped onto the market for pennies. And the reasons behind this collapse are far more dramatic than anyone ever expected. For years, RVs were a booming trend driven by remote work, pandemic travel restrictions, and the romantic idea of full-time van life. But today, the very same RVs that people once fought over, overpaid for, and waited months to get delivered are now piling up in giant parking lots, abandoned storage yards, and dealership overflow fields, creating a sea of unused homes on wheels that manufacturers, owners, and banks are desperate to get rid of. The crash began quietly in late 2023 when interest rates shot up, fuel prices climbed, and insurance premiums became unbearable, transforming RV ownership from a dream into a financial anchor. Monthly payments that used to be $400 jumped to $900. Diesel prices reached absurd levels, and the cost of simply storing an RV doubled in many cities. Suddenly, thousands of families who bought RVs at inflated, pandemic-era prices realized they couldn't afford them anymore, and the first wave of repossessions hit in early 2024. But no one expected Wave 2 to be even worse. Tens of thousands of retiring boomers, who used to be the backbone of the RV market, started selling off their rigs all at once after realizing maintenance, campground fees, and massive repair costs were draining their savings. Many RVs marketed as new turned out to be lemons, with weak construction, peeling roofs, failing slide-outs, bad wiring, soft floors, and water leaks appearing just months after purchase, leading owners to abandon them rather than repair them. Add to this the collapse of RV rental companies, many of which went bankrupt in 2024 after travel demand dropped, and suddenly thousands of fleet-maintained RVs flooded auction yards. By 2025, the market was in total freefall. Dealerships that once bragged about record sales were now sitting on overstocked lots bursting with 2022, 2023, and 2024 models they could no longer sell at any price, not even at 60% off. Manufacturers like Forest River, Winnebago, Jayco, Thor, and Keystone were forced to halt production lines, lay off workers, and slash output by more than half because unsold units kept piling up. Financing companies, meanwhile, didn't want to repossess RVs anymore since when they took them back, they lost even more money at auction. The market price had collapsed so badly that banks were writing off hundreds of millions in losses. That's when the pennies on the dollar phenomenon started. Across dozens of states, RVs that originally sold for $80,000 were going for $18,000. $50,000 rigs were being dumped for $9,000. And some older Class CS were selling for as low as $3,500, cheaper than many e-bikes. People who always dreamed of owning an RV suddenly found themselves able to buy nearly new units for the price of a used Honda Civic, transforming the market into pure chaos. Social media went insane as thousands posted videos of abandoned RV lots stretching for miles, with row after row of new campers sitting untouched, collecting dust, weeds, and wildlife nests because no one wanted them. Some storage facilities even began auctioning off unpaid RVs for $100 starting bids simply to clear space. Then came the government surplus auctions, where agencies liquidated RVs once used for emergency housing after hurricanes and wildfires. These too sold for unbelievably low prices, adding to the chaos. But the craziest part isn't just the number of RVs flooding the market. It's how quickly they're depreciating. Experts say modern RVs, many built fast during the pandemic, suffer from poor assembly quality, cheap materials, and rushed construction, meaning a lot of them simply won't last 10 years like the older models did. Repairs have become so expensive, sometimes costing more than the RV itself, that owners are abandoning them after major failures like roof rot, frame flex, mold growth, or electrical issues. Campgrounds have been reporting an increase in orphaned RVs left behind by owners who simply drove away and never returned. At the same time, new EPA environmental rules and state-level restrictions on large vehicles are making RV ownership even harder, especially in places like California, New York, and Washington, where emission standards and parking limits have tightened dramatically. Meanwhile, fuel prices staying above $5 per gallon have pushed many to give up on the nomadic RV life altogether. The result? A surreal landscape where millions of like-new RVs, some barely a year old, are being offered at prices so low that buyers think it must be a scam. In some regions, dealers are offering buy one, get one free deals on small trailers, and big-box retailers like Costco and Cabela's have quietly begun liquidating overstock models through bulk sale contracts. Websites that track RV auctions show numbers never seen before: 400,000 plus units available at once, and more pouring in every week. The RV industry is calling it a correction, but experts say it's really a total collapse, the bursting of a bubble that expanded far too fast during 2020 to 2022. And yet, for thousands of bargain hunters, off-grid enthusiasts, DIY renovators, and rural buyers, this collapse is a golden opportunity. Some are buying multiple $3,000 travel trailers, turning them into rental cabins, Airbnb units, backyard homes, job site offices, or even tiny homes on wheels. Entire YouTube channels now revolve around flipping cheap RVs for profit, repairing water damage, and rebuilding interiors with better materials. But for many original owners, especially those who still owe big loans, the story is far more painful. People who financed $70,000 trailers now find them worth $15,000, trapping them in debt with no escape. And as we move deeper into 2025, analysts warn the crash isn't over yet. Millions more RVs are still sitting in storage lots. Unpaid rental fleets are still being liquidated, and thousands of high-interest loans are about to default. The RV world has never seen anything like this. A perfect storm of oversupply, collapsing demand, soaring costs, insurance hassles, and a generation of cheaply built models that simply didn't hold up. What was once a symbol of freedom, adventure, and the America on wheels lifestyle has become one of the biggest depreciation disasters of modern times. And as millions of like-new RVs get dumped for pennies, one question remains: who is going to buy them all? And what happens when the industry that built them can no longer survive the fallout? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: 2025 will forever be remembered as the year the RV dream crashed harder than anyone ever imagined.